Meditation is very similar in that it allows your mind to discard all of the things, the thoughts, the activities that are unnecessary or not necessarily correlated to what you want in life, and it allows you to just discard that. So meditation there's lots of varying forms of meditation. I studied with a Maharishi that taught me transcendental meditation. And basically what you're doing is you become singularly focused on one thing. What you're trying to do is actually quiet your inner thoughts. And the process of doing so, what it allows your brain to do is to release stress. Dr. Steven Kotler, now he's not a doctor, but a researcher, Steven Kotler talks about flow state. Steven Kotler was an extreme sports reporter. And so he would cover like extreme snowboarding. Well, how do you cover with video? How do you cover extreme snowboarding? You got to be an extreme snowboarder. So this is a guy who was jumping out of airplanes, who was extreme snowboarding, who was heli skiing, like all of the extreme stuff. And what ended up happening is he lived in San Diego and he ended up getting Lyme disease. And he was bedridden for months. And if you've ever experienced any kind of health issues where you're confined and can't pursue the activities that you're normally used to doing, depression often sets in. And that's what happened to him. And what his friends did after several months of him being in this depressed state and not being able to really get out of bed, his friends came and got him and took him to Mission Beach to go surfing. They literally had to swim out with him, put him on the board, and get him on the board so that he could surf the wave back in. Well, as you might imagine, two or three rides, and he was just physically just completely spent. It took him 3 or 4 days to recover, right? But he called up his friends and said, let's do that again. He ended up being able to walk just a couple of months after that, and his doctors were absolutely amazed. And what he figured out, this is maybe 20 years ago, what he figured out is that during that time when he was in what he calls flow state is, have you ever done an activity or if you've ever been a part of something and it's like time stood still or time flew by? You ever been in that kind of experience? Anyone? Yeah. There's lots of activities that you can do. My wife thinks I'm crazy. I like to work on our property at the lake, right? So I'll build stuff, I excavate stuff. I find all kinds of projects to do out there. But the reason that I do it is because I can take my mind and focus it on a singular thing. And in doing so, it gives your brain and it gives your body optimal space to heal itself. Meditation is very similar in that it allows your mind to discard all of the things, the thoughts, the activities that are unnecessary or not necessarily correlated to what you want in life, and it allows you to just discard that. It's super, super important, but most of us don't give ourselves the time to do it. I heard an analogy yesterday. How many of you, first thing in the morning, when your eyes wake up, would allow 100 people to come into your room? Nobody, right? Except Adam. Adam's the outlier. He's the one that we study, right? Yeah. But what most people do, what's the first thing most people do when they wake up in the morning? They grab their phone, right? So we give ourselves very, very little time for our brains to decompress. Meditation is one form of that.